I think most people relate to how a particular situation, event, political sort of atmosphere affects them personally. So it's kind of hard sometimes to take the eye out of it. But I think, just realizing that everybody has their own sort of life experience. They come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, and different experiences. And you've got to sort of figure out a way to message so that that person that you are trying to motivate to be more active, to be more participatory in if you're organizing, in terms of how it really can impact them and impact the ones that they care about. So I think sometimes we tend to speak from our experience and not really try to put ourselves in the shoes of the person who's receiving your message. And a lot of that comes from being able to actively listen. I'm sure that's something that you guys have heard, quite a bit in the Freedom Center, but I've found it to be invaluable in working with a very diverse group of people and getting people on board with whatever program or project that I'm working with.
What is your advice on how we can be the best storytellers and convincers so that we can get people to understand and participate in what we do?
Well, I would say, first of all, the work that you all are doing and the skills that you're learning are so important. And I'm just really impressed with everything that I've seen that's associated with the Freedom Center. It's really important to know, as I said, some of the experiences of the person that you're speaking to. When you're speaking to someone that's in your same peer group, the language that you use is going to be very different than if you're speaking to someone, at least I would assume so, that's perhaps a generation or two removed from you. So I think it's important to use language and communication styles that make that other person feel comfortable.
What we studied is Dr. King,
Mm-hmm.
and also we also studied different civil rights leaders.
Mm-hmm.
There's this notion that leadership is both like front end work and back end work, and some students prefer to do leadership at the back end, meaning that if all leaders have to be at the front, then that's not very good real leadership. So what's your advice for back end leaders on how they can still lead but not being in the front?
I think for people that, it's not really within their sort of personality style to be out there in the front. I mean, change doesn't happen, with one person. It happens with a group of people that are working together collaboratively. Someone's got to, make sure the bus gets from A to B. Someone's got to coordinate. Those are important tasks. And, while everybody, wants to be in front of the stage, it's just as important to be the manager that sets up the gig. So I think for people who are comfortable in the back, I actually think that that's quite a skill set, because that's really about the work and leaving ego aside. So I actually applaud people who are still willing to be in whatever struggle or fight or work that they're doing that don't necessarily require, their name on the top of the article.